lost all trace of the path.
Stop there, for God's sake. The glacier is as thin as a crust here. Tread lightly.
I must go on. I told you before.
It's beyond mortal power. Stop. It's life or death.
I must. I serve a great master.
What's his name?
His name is God.
Who are you?
A priest.
Listen, priest. There's a frozen mountain lake ahead, and mountain lakes are treacherous.
We will walk across it.
Walk on water.
It has been done.
Oh, that was long ago. There are no miracles now. You sink without trace.
Listen, guide. Didn't you say your daughter had sent you word that she is dying and cannot go in peace unless she sees you first?
It's true, God help me.
And she cannot live beyond today?
Yes.
Then come.
Turn back.
What would you give for your daughter to die in peace?
I give everything I have, my house and farm, gladly.
Not your life.
My life?
Your life.
There's a limit. I've a wife and children at home.
Then go home. Your life is the way of death. You do not know God, and God does not know you.
Come on, Father.
All right, but he must come too.
Must I? Let go. No, let go at once.
Oh, that devil take me.
He will. You can be sure. In the end.
Hide, priest!
Gone over the path.
I can still see him. Hi there! Where did we leave the road? I wish to God it was. Then I'd be warm at home by nightfall.
They grope their way homeward. You coward. If you'd had the will and lacked only the strength, I would have helped you. Footsore as I am, I would have carried you on my tired back gladly and easily. How men love life. They'll sacrifice anything else. But life? No, that must be saved.
We're not afraid.
We haven't finished our game. We've a whole lifetime yet.
We've been promised 100 years together in the sun. Come down here and I'll tell you how good God has been to us. Don't stand up there like an icicle. Come on down. First, I'm a painter. I was coming from the south after a long journey with my easel on my back.
As bold as a king, fresh and gay, knowing 1,000 songs.
As I came through the mountain pass, I saw her. She'd come to drink the mountain air, the sunshine, the dew, the scent of the pines. Some force had driven me up to the mountains. A voice within me cried, "Seek beauty where the pine trees grow, by the forest river high among the clouds." There I painted my masterpiece. A blush on her cheek, 2 eyes bright with happiness, a smile that sang from her heart. I asked her to marry me, and she said yes.
Where are you going now?
Over that last mountain peak, westwards down to the fjord, and then south for our wedding, as fast as ship can sail.
And there?
A happy life together, like a dream, like a fairy tale. For this Sunday morning on the mountain top, without a priest, our lives were declared free of sorrow and consecrated to happiness.
By whom?
By everyone.
Farewell.
Wait a minute. Don't I know your face?
Oh, I am a stranger.
No, I'm sure I remember. Could we have met at school or at home?
Yes. Yes, we were friends at school. But then I was a boy. Now I am a man.
Brand! Yes, it's you.
I knew you at once.
How good to see you. Look at me. Yes, you're the same old Brand, always kept to yourself and would never play with us.
No, I was not at home among you southerners. I was of another race, born by a cold fjord in the shadow of a barren mountain.
Where are you going now?
Don't ask that.
Why?
Well, the ship that is waiting for you will take me too.
Agnes, he's coming with us.
Yes, but I am going to a burial feast.
To a burial feast.
Who's to be buried?
The god you have just called yours.
Come, I know.
Brand.
All you want to do is to flirt and play and laugh, to do lip service to your fate, but not to know the truth. Someone once died, so you are free to dance. To dance, yes, but whither, my friend? That is another thing.
Brand, our God made us to be happy.
My gay friend, show me this god of yours. You're an artist. You painted him, I hear. He's old, isn't he?
Yes.
Oh, yes, of course. And grey and thin on top, as old men are. Kindly, but severe enough to frighten the children into bed. Did you give him slippers? I hope you allowed him spectacles and a skull cap.
What do you mean?
That's just what he is. The god of our country, the people's god, your god. a feeble dotard in his second childhood. That god is growing feeble like the generation that worships him. Mine is a storm, where yours is a gentle wind, inflexible where yours is weak, all loving, not all doting, and he is young and strong like Hercules. His was the voice that spoke like thunder when he stood bright before Moses in the burning bush, a giant before the dwarf of dwarfs. In the valley of Gideon, he stayed the sun and worked miracles without number, and would work them still if people were not dead like you.
And now we are to be created anew.
Yes, as surely as I know that I was born into this world to heal its sickness and its weakness.
Turn the world upside down. I still have faith in my God.
Good, but paint him with crutches. I go to lay him in his grave.
Has the sun gone down?
No, it was only a cloud passing. Soon it'll be shining again.
There's a cold wind.
You were so busy playing you didn't notice it until he frightened you with his shouting. Let him follow his narrow path. We can go on with our game.
But did you see
What?
how, as he spoke, he grew?
Now I know what I am. Every boathouse, every cottage, the birch trees along the fjord, the old brown church, the elder bushes along the river bank. I remember it all from childhood. It seems grayer now, and smaller. The snowdrift hangs further out from the mountain than it used to, cuts even more from the valley's meager strip of sky. It lowers, threatens, shadows, steals more sun. The fjord. Was it as grim and narrow as this? And there to the south, in the shadow of a crag, is a boathouse and a jetty. And behind them, a cottage, a red cottage. The widow's cottage. My childhood home. Memories swarm upon me, and memories of memories. There, among the stones on the shore, I lived my childhood, alone. A heavy weight lies on me. Everything I desired so passionately before begins to tremble and fade. My strength and courage fail me. My soul and mind are numbed. Now, as I approach my home, I find myself a stranger. I awake, bound, shorn, and tamed, like Samson in the harlot's lap.
He's tearing me with his claws.
In God's name, child.
Keep still. Keep still. He's flying away.
Who's flying away?
Didn't you see the hawk?
Here? No.
That great ugly bird with a red and gold circled eye.
Where are you going?
To church.
But there's the church.
That?
Yes.
No. That's ugly.
Ugly? Why?
Because it's small.
Well, do you know a bigger one?
A bigger? Oh, yes. Goodbye.
Is your church up there? That leads to the mountains.
Come with me, and I'll show you a church built of ice and snow.
Oh, now I understand. I remember when I was a boy, up among the peaks and summits at the head of a valley, there was a chasm. A frozen mountain lake was its floor, and a great pile snowdrift stretched like a roof across the crack in the mountain wall. People called it the Ice Church.
Yes, it looks like rocks and ice, but really, it's a church.
Oh, don't go there. A gust of wind can bring the roof crashing down. A scream, a rifle shot is enough.
Come with me. I'll show you a herd of reindeer that was buried by an avalanche and never seen again till the spring thaw.
Don't go there. It's unsafe.
Don't go there. It's ugly.
God's peace be with you.
No. Come with me up there. Cataract and avalanche sing mass. The wind preaches along the wall of the glacier, and the hawk can't get in. He swoops down onto the black peak and sits there in my church steeple like an ugly weathercock. Here he comes again, as savage as before. Duncan, Mary! I'll throw stones at you. I hate you have been trying to claw me.
Another churchgoer. Who gropes most blindly? Who strays farthest from home? The gay of heart, who play along the edge of the crevasse? The dull of heart, plodding and slow because their neighbors are so? Or the wild of heart, in whose broken mind evil seems beautiful? This triple enemy must be fought. I see my calling. It shines forth like the sun. I know my mission. If these three can be slain, man's sickness will be cured. Arm! Arm, my soul, and sheath your sword. To battle! To battle for the heirs of heaven!
Ah, a new arrival. Welcome. We've had drought and famine and now floods. So open your purse and give what you can. We've very little left. 5 small fishes don't feed many hungry mouths nowadays.
Better than 10,000 dissued in the name of idolatry.
I didn't ask you for advice. Words are not much use to hungry men.
Brand, you can't know how the people have suffered. The harvest failed, there's been famine and sickness, people are dying.
Yes, I can see that. These sunken eyes tell me what judge holds court here.
And you stand there as hard as stone.
Were your life here languid and easy, I could pity your cries for bread. When day follows day ploddingly, like mourners at a funeral, then a man may well suppose that God has struck him from his book. But to you, he has been merciful. He has made you afraid. He has scourged you with the whip of death. The precious gift he gave you, he has taken away.
He mocks us in our need.
He abuses us who give you bread.
No, could my heart's blood heal and refresh you, I would pour it till my veins ran dry. But to help you now would be sin. Only God can lift you from your distress. A living people suck strength from sorrow.
Storms rising over the fjord. Where's the way to thunder?
He tempts God.
Your God will perform no miracles for you.
Look at the sky. The storm's rising. Drive him out of the village.
Help me! In the name of Jesus Christ, help me!
What's the matter? What do you want?
A priest. Where can I find a priest?
We have no priest here.
Oh, that all is lost.
Perhaps one can be found.
Where is he? Oh, tell me where he is.
Tell me how you need him and he will come.
Over the fjord. My husband, 3 children starving. We had no food. Oh, no, tell me he's not damned.
Explain.
My youngest child was dying. It drove him mad. He killed the child. But once he realized what he'd done, his grief burst forth like a river, and he turned the knife on himself. Oh, cross the fjord and save his soul. He cannot live and dare not die. He lies clasping the child's body and shrieking the devil's name.
Your need is great.
He doesn't belong to my district.
Unmoor a boat and take me across.
In a storm, no one would dare.
Unmoor a boat.
Impossible. Look, the wind's blown through the mountain, the field's seething.
The soul of a dying sinner does not wait for wind and weather. Will you risk your boat?
Yes,
Good.
wait.
Who will risk his life?
Sudden death.
I only need one man to bail and work the sail. Now come, one of you. You gave food just now. Won't anyone give his life?
No, don't tempt the Lord.
Storm's rising.
All right, you come, but quickly.
Try when no one else will come.
Let them stay.
I can't.
Can't.
Oh, my children.
You build on sand.
Did you hear?
Yes, he is strong.
Oh, God bless you. You know your duty. Here is one worthy to go with you.
Come, I.
Go, I want you to. My eyes were blind. Now they see.
A week ago, I'd gladly have given my life and gone with him.
But now,
I'm young and life is dear. I cannot go.
what?
I dare not.
This storm has driven us apart. All God's ocean lies between us now. I will come.
Good. Where is the house?
Over there on the headland.
Remember your family. Save your life.
We are 3 on board.
What? There.
The inspector speeds in the wind.
The water's boiling like pits. What was that cry above the storm?
It came from the mountain. There! It's the witch girl laughing and shouting at him.
Howl and trumpet, you ugly troll! He's well protected!
Next time he asks, I'll sail with him in a hurricane.
What is he?
Priest, whatever he is, he's a man. Tough, strong, brave. That's the sort of priest we need.
Yes. That's the sort of priest we need.
That was death. It has washed away the stains of fear. Now he lies, calm and peaceful, freed of his pain.
We meet again.
He no longer needs your help.
There are still 3 months to fill.
Well?
Well, we haven't much to offer, but we've brought a few things.
If you give all you have, but not your life, you give nothing.
Well, I would give it now if it would save his life.
Not to save his soul.
We're only working people.
Then turn your eyes away from the light beyond the mountains. Bend your backs to the yoke.
I thought you would tell us to throw it off.
Yes, if you can.
You can give us the strength.
Can I?
Many people have pointed the way, but you walked in it.
What do you want with me?
Be our priest. You're the sort of priest we need.
Ask anything of me, but not that. I must speak to the world. Who buries himself in a pit when the broad fields beckon? Who ploughs the desert when fertile soil awaits him?
I understood your deeds, but not your words.
Ask no further. My time here is finished.
Is your calling dear to you?
It is my life.
If you give all, but not your life, you give nothing.
One thing a man cannot give. His soul. He cannot deny his calling. He dare not block that river's course. It forces its way towards the ocean.
Yet if it lost itself in marsh or lake, it would reach the ocean in the end, as dew.
Who gave you power to speak like that?
You did. In the storm. When you risked your life to save a sinner's soul, your deed rang in our ears like a bell. Oh, tomorrow, perhaps we shall have forgotten it.
Where there is no will, there is no calling. If you cannot be what you would be, turn your face to the earth. Till it well.
May you be cursed for quenching the flame you lit, as we are cursed who for a moment so.
I have taken upon myself the salvation of the world. That is my work. I must leave this narrow valley. I cannot fight my battle here. What are you looking at, girl? The fjord's crooked course?
No. Not the fjord's course, nor the earth's. Both are hidden from me. I see a greater earth. Its outline sharp against the air. I see oceans and the mouths of rivers. A gleam of sunshine pierces through the mist. I see a fiery red light playing about the mountain peaks. I see a boundless waste of desert. Great palm trees stand swaying in the sharp winds. There is no sign of life. It is like a new world at its birth. I hear voices ring. Now shalt thou be lost or saved. Thy task awaits thee. Take up thy burden. Thou shalt people this new earth.
Yes, what else?
I feel a force waking within me, and sense rather than see him who watches over us. Sense that he looks down full of sadness and of love. A voice cries, now shalt thou create and be created. Thy task awaits thee. Take up thy burden.
Yes. Within. There is the road. That is the path. In oneself is that earth, newly created, ready to receive God. There shall the vulture that gnaws the will be slain. There shall the new Adam be born. A place on earth where one can be wholly oneself. It is man's right, I ask no more. To be wholly oneself. But how? With the weight of one's inheritance of sin.
Is that you, my son?
Oh, merciful God.
Is that you, my son?
Yes. Mother.
Well, you've grown big and strong. But mark my words, take care of your life.
Is that all?
All? What could be dearer than life? Look after yours for my sake. I gave it you. I've heard about you crossing the fjord this morning in that storm. You're my only son, the last of our family. You must live to carry on my name and all I've lived and worked for. You'll be rich, you know, one day. Guard your inheritance. Never let it leave our family.
And if I should decide to scatter it to the winds?
Scatter it? The money I've drudged all my life to save?
Scatter it to the winds.
If you do, you'll scatter my soul with
Yes,
it.
but if I should?
Who gave you this idea?
Shall I tell you?
Yes.
A memory from childhood. Something I could never forget. It was an autumn evening. My father was dead. I crept in to where he lay, pale in the candlelight. I stood in a corner and stared at him. He was holding a psalm book. I wondered why he slept so deeply, why his wrists were so thin, and I remember the smell of clammy linen. And then I heard a footstep on the stair. A woman came in. She didn't see me. She went straight to the bed. She began to grope and rummage. She moved the head. She pulled out a bundle and then another. And she opened them and she counted and she whispered, "More, more." And then she pulled out from the pillows a packet bound with cord. She bit it open with her teeth, searched on, found more, counted and whispered, "More, more." She wept, she cried, she swore. At last she'd emptied every hiding place. And she slunk from the room like a damned soul, groaning. So this was all!
I needed the money! God knows there was precious little. Paid dearly enough for it.
Yes, dearly. It cost you your son.
Maybe. But I paid a bigger price than that. I think I gave my life. I know I gave something that is dead now. I remember what a hard struggle it was. I remember my father's advice. Forget the village boy. He said, take the other. Never mind that he's old and withered. He's clever. He'll double his money. I took him. He never doubled his money. But I've worked and slaved since then, so that now I'm not so poor.
Do you remember, now you're near your grave, that you gave your soul too?
I made my son a priest. When my time comes, you must look after my soul in return for your inheritance.
And the debt?
Debt? What debt? I shan't leave any debt.
Oh, blind woman, learn to see. You have debased God's coinage. You have squandered the soul he lent you. You were born in his image, and you have dragged it in the mire. That is your debt. Where will you go when God demands his own?
Where shall I go? Where?
Have no fear. Your son takes your debt on him. God's corroded image shall be burnt clean in me. Go to your grave in comfort. I shall repay your debt.
And my sins?
Oh, no, only your debt. You yourself must answer for your sins. Repent, or perish.
I'd better go back home under the shadow of the glacier.
Go back to your shadows. I am near. If you feel drawn towards the light and wish to see me, send, and I will come.
Yes, to judge me.
No. As a son, to love you. As a priest, to shrive you. I shall shield you from the chill wind of fear. I shall sit at the foot of your bed and cool the burning in your blood with song.
Do you promise that?
I shall come in the hour of your repentance. But I too make one condition. Everything that binds you to this earth, you must renounce and go naked to your grave.
Ask anything else, not what I love most.
Nothing less can mitigate his judgment.
My life wasted. My soul lost. Soon, my life savings will be lost too. Why was my soul made flesh, if love of the flesh is death to the soul? Stay near me, priest. But If I must lose everything, at least let me keep it as long as I can.
Your son will stay near to answer your call. And if you stretch your withered and freezing hand, he will warm it. This evening is not as the morning was. Then I heard distant trumpets bray, and longed to swing the sword of wrath and slay the demon of untruth, filling the earth with the noise of war. But it was an empty dream. A mountain mirage made by the sun in the morning mist. Now I stand in a deep valley, where darkness falls long before evening. I stand between the mountain and the sea, far from the tumult of the world. This is my home. My Sunday song is over. My winged steed can be unsaddled. My duty lies here. There is a greater purpose than the glory of battle, to hallow daily toil to the glory of God.
And that God who was to fall.
Well, I shall bury him, but secretly in each man's soul, not openly for all to see. I thought I knew the way to cure men's sickness, but I was wrong. I see it now. It is not by spectacular achievements that man shall be transformed, but by will. It is man's will that acquits or condemns him. You men who wander dully in this damp, hill-locked valley, which is my home, let us see if we can become tablets on which God can write.
Stop! Give me back what you took from me.
Well, there she sits.
Choose between the sunny plains and this dark corner of sorrow.
I have no choice.
Agnes. Agnes, listen to me. Out on the shining water, the white sails cut from the shore, the high prows pearled with spray. They fly towards their harbor in our promised land.
Sail west or east, but think of me as one dead. Go and God be with you, fair tempter.
Agnes, come with me as a sister.
All God's ocean lies between us.
Then come home with me to your mother.
He is my teacher, my brother, and my friend. I shall not leave him.
Young woman, think carefully before you decide. I am stern in my demands. I require all or nothing. No half measures, no forgiveness for failure. It may not be enough to offer your life. Your death may be required also.
Stop this mad game. Leave this man of dark law. Live the life you know you can.
Choose. You stand at the parting of the ways.
Choose between night and sorrow. Choose between death and life.
Into the night, through death, beyond, the morning glows red. My dearest husband, you are uneasy.
I am waiting for a message from my mother. This morning I heard for certain that her hour is near.
Oh, Brand, you ought to go to her without waiting for a message.
If she does not repent, I have no words to say to her, no comfort to offer her.
You are hard, Brand.
Towards you?
Oh, no.
I told you it would be a hard life.
It has not been so. You've not kept your word.
Oh, yes. This place is cold and bitter.
Brand, there's something you're afraid of.
I? Oh, no, you.
No, Brand, you.
You have a secret fear.
So have you.
You tremble as though on the edge of a precipice. What is it? Tell me.
Sometimes I've trembled.
For whom?
For our son.
For Ulf?
You have too.
Yes, sometime. No. No, he will not be taken from us. God is good. He will grow well and strong. Look at him now. He does not dream of sickness or sorrow. His little hand is round and plump.
But pale.
Pale, yes, but that will pass. God bless you, my son. Sleep soundly. You and he have given me light and peace in my work. With you came love like a sunny spring day to warm my heart. I'd never known it before. My father and mother never loved me. They quenched any little flame that faltered from the ashes. But you taught me gentleness of spirit. No one can love all until he has first loved one.
And yet to others, your love is hard. Where you would caress, you bruise. Many have shrunk from us because of your demand of all or nothing.
What the world calls love, I neither know nor want. I know God's love, which is neither weak nor mild. It is hard, even unto the terror of death. Its caress is a scourge. What did God reply when his son lay in the olive grove and cried and prayed, "Take this cup from me"? Did he take the cup of pain from his lips? No, child. He made him drink it to the dregs.
Measured by that yardstick, we all stand condemned.
No man knows whom the judgment shall touch. But it stands written in letters of eternal fire, "Be steadfast to the end." It is not enough to bathe in the sweat of anguish. You must pass through the fire of torture. That you cannot will be forgiven. That you will not, never.
Oh, yes, it must be so. Oh, lift me to where you climb. Lead me toward your high heaven. My longing is great, my courage weak.
No path is too steep for two to climb.
Hello. I never expected to see lovebirds in this cold valley.
Oh, dear doctor, are you here? Well, come in.
No, I won't. You know quite well I'm angry with you. Burying yourselves in this damp cellar where the wind from the mountain cuts through body and soul like a knife.
Not through the soul.
No? Well, it almost seems so. Well, I must be off. I've got to visit a patient.
My mother?
Care to come with me?
No, not now.
You've been to see her already, perhaps?
No.
You're a hard man. I've struggled all the way across the moor, through mist and sleet, although I know she pays like a pauper.
May God bless your energy and skill. Ease her suffering if you can.
I hope he may bless my sense of duty. I came as soon as I heard she needed me.
She sends for you. I am forgotten. I wait and wait.
Well, don't wait for her to send for you. Come now with me.
Until she sends for me, I have no duty there.
Oh, child, you have a hard master.
I am not hard.
He would give his blood if it could wash her soul.
As her son, I shall pay her debts. They are my inheritance.
Pay your own.
One man may pay for the sins of many.
Not when he himself is a beggar.
Whether I am rich or a beggar, I have the will. That is enough.
Yes. In your ledger, your credit account for strength of will is full. But, priest, your love account is a white virgin page.
Love. Love! Has ever a word been so abused and debased? It is used as a veil to cover weakness. When the path is narrow, steep, and slippery, it can be cut short by love. When a man walks on the broad road of sin, there is still hope in love. When he goes astray, knowing what is right, he may yet find refuge in love.
Yes, love is a snare, and yet I wonder, is it?
First, there must be will. When the will has conquered, then comes the time for love. But here, faced by a generation that is lax and slothful, the best love is hate. Hate. But to will, that small word, means universal war. Wolf.
What a great well of love exists in his soul. He can love his child. The snake of human weakness has not yet bitten that small heart.
Has no message come?
No message.
His skin is dry and hot. His temple throbs. His pulse beats fast. Oh, don't be afraid, Agnes. Oh, the message, at last.
Father, you must come now.
Oh, yes, at once. What message does she send?
A strange message. She raised herself in bed, leaned forward and said, "Bring the priest. I will give half my goods for the sacrament."
Half? She meant all.
Maybe, but I heard her clearly.
Dare you swear on the day of judgment she used that word?
Yes.
Go and say this in my reply. No priest will come. No sacrament.
You can't have understood. Your mother sent me.
She knew what she must offer. All or nothing.
Those are hard words.
Go and tell her that the table for the bread and wine must be clean.
Oh, Brand, sometimes you frighten me.
Does not the world fight me with its stubborn apathy?
Your terms are hard.
What other terms would you dare offer?
Could anyone meet them?
Oh, you're right. So empty, so flat, so mean has man become.
And yet from this blind, stumbling generation you would demand all or nothing.
He who seeks victory must not weaken. He who is sunk most low may rise most high. I stand before a simple man and make that demand? I feel as though I were floating in a storm-racked sea on a shattered spar. Agnes, go into the child. Sing to him. Give him sweet dreams.
What is it, Bran? Why do your thoughts always return to him?
Oh, nothing. Take good care of him.
Give me a text.
Stern.
No, gentle.
He who is without stain shall live.
Yes. There is one sacrifice which God dare not demand.
If he should test me as he tested Abraham.
Good afternoon.
His worship the mayor.
Your mother is sick, I hear. Very sick. I'm sorry to hear that. Very sorry.
What do you want?
Well, I'll come straight to the point. You're going to be quite well off now. I may even say rich. You won't want to bury yourself in this backwater any longer, I presume, now that you have the means to live elsewhere.
In other words, go.
If you want to put it that way, yes. I think it would be better for all concerned. Now, don't misunderstand me. I admire your gifts greatly. But wouldn't they be better suited to a more sophisticated community?
A man's native soil is to him as the root is to the tree. If he is not wanted there, his work is doomed, his song dies.
Of course, if you insist on staying, I can't force you to go. But don't overstep the limits of your call.
A man must be himself. Only thus can he carry his cause to victory, as I shall carry mine to victory. This people, whom you and your like have lulled to sleep, shall be awakened. You have softened and debased the good metal of their souls. I declare war on you and everything you stand for.
War?
War.
You know, if you sound the call to arms, you'll be the first of all. Think, Brand. You've all the good things of the world. Money, a child, a wife that loves you. Why do you want to wage a crusade in this backwater?
Because I must.
No. Go to the rich cities where life is not so hard. Order them to bleed. We don't want to bleed. We want to earn our bread by the sweat of our brows, prizing a living out of these rocky hillsides.
This is my home. Here I shall stay, and here I shall begin my war.
Brand, no man can fight a war alone.
My flock is strong. I have the best men on my side.
Possibly. But I have the most.
There goes a typical man of the people. Full-blooded, right-thinking, well-meaning, energetic, jovial, and just. And yet no frost, plague, or famine does half the harm in a year that man does. How much spiritual aspiration has he not stifled at birth? Why does no message come? Doctor. My mother.
She stands before her judge.
Dead. The penitent.
I hardly think so. She clung fast to her worldly goods until God took her from them.
What does she say?
She mumbled, "God is not so cruel as my son."
That lie. That lie that poisons every soul, even in the hour of death, on the threshold of judgment.
You want to resurrect an age that is past. You still preach the pact Jehovah made with man 5,000 years ago. Each generation must make its own pact with God. Our generation is not to be scared by rods of fire or nurses tales of damned souls. Its first commandment, Brand, is be humane.
Humane? That word that covers all weakness. Was God humane to Jesus Christ?
Come inside, please.
What is it, child?
I'm afraid.
Why?
Come.
She died unrepentant. Unrepentant as she had lived. Is not this God's finger pointing? If I weaken now, I am damned tenfold. Henceforth, I shall fight unflinchingly for the victory of the spirit over the weakness of the flesh. The Lord has armed me with the blade of his word. Now I stand firm in my will. Now I dare. Now I can. Crush mountains!
Put your affairs in order and leave this place.
If the earth were to tremble, I should still remain.
Then your child will die.
My child? Wolf? My child?
Oh, wait, listen to me. There's no light or sunshine here. The wind cuts like a polar blast. The clammy mist never lifts. Your child is weak. Another winter here will kill him. Go, Brand, and your son will live. But do it quickly, tomorrow, if you can.
Tonight, today. Now, Agnes, lift him. Let us fly south. Oh, Agnes, death is spilling its web about our child. Go in, lift him, wrap him warmly. It will soon be evening, and the wind is cold.
So merciless towards your flock, so lenient towards yourself.
What do you mean?
You threatened your mother. Unless you renounce everything and go naked to your grave, you are lost. Now you are the shipwrecked soul clinging to your upturned boat. Overboard go all your threats of damnation. You fly south, away from your flock and your calling. The priest will not hold mass again. Don't think I blame you. I find you bigger now that your wings are clipped than when you were the angel of God. Goodbye. I've given you a mirror, Brand. Look into it and ask yourself, is this a man who would storm the gates of heaven?
Was I wrong then? Or am I now?
Father! Father! Father, listen to me. You've an enemy.
Yes. Here.
Be on your guard against the mayor. He's spreading rumors. He's saying the parsonage will soon be empty, that you'll turn your back on us now that your rich mother is dead.
If I did?
Then you've been lying to us all.
Have I?
How many times haven't you told us that God sent you here to fight for us? That it's better for a man to die than to betray his calling. This is your calling here among us.
Yes, but here the people are deaf, their hearts are dead.
And now you know better. You've shown us the light.
Yes, for every one who finds the light, 10 remain in darkness.
I am that one. And I say to you, go if you can. I can't help myself from the book. You've dragged me up from the abyss. See if you dare let me fall. You can't. If you let me go, my soul is lost. Goodbye. I'm not afraid. My priest and my God will not fail me.
Every word I say echoes back at me like thunder from the mountain wall!
I am ready.
Ready? For what?
To go.
Have you heard? The parson's flown away. The trolls and demons are swarming out of the hillsides, black and ugly.
Child, look, you talk crazily. Look at me, I'm still here.
You? Yes, you, but not the priest. My hawk swept down the mountainside from Black Peak, and on his back a man rode. The priest! It was the priest! The village church stands empty, locked, barred. Its time is up, it's ugly. My church's time has come now. There stands my priest, big and strong in his white cloak woven of ice. Come along with me.
Stricken soul, who sent you to bewilder me with talk of idols?
Idols? There's one, do you see him? See those hands and feet under the blanket? Man, there's an idol!
Agnes, I fear a greater one has sent her to us.
Can you see the 1,000 trolls the village priest drowned in the sea? That grave can't hold them. They're groping the way ashore, cold and slimy. Listen, can you hear that one laughing? As he sits astride the crosspost where the road swings up to the moor, writing down in his book the name of every soul that passes. He has them all. The priest flew away on the hawk's back.
Let us go, Brand. It is time.
Which way? That way? Or that?
Brand, your child. Your child.
Answer me. Was I not a priest before I was a father?
I cannot answer.
You must. You're the mother.
I am your wife. I shall do as you command
I
me.
cannot choose. Take this cup from me, Agnes.
Oh, ask yourself if you have a choice.
You must choose.
Do as your God bids you.
Very well. Let us go. It is late.
Which way? That way.
That!
Oh, God, this sacrifice you dare demand, I dare to raise towards your heaven. Lead me through the fire of life.
Give me light.
how long you've been away. Oh, don't leave me. Don't leave me.
You have me back now, child. You are pale.
Oh, I'm tired. I've watched and yearned. I bound some branches together, just a few. It was all I had saved from the summer to decorate the Christmas tree. His branches, I called them, because he liked their leaves. He had some of them in his wreath. Look, it is half covered with snow. In the...
graveyard.
Oh, don't say it!
He lies in the graveyard. It must be said. Shout it if you are afraid of it.
Oh, it frightens you more than you will admit. Your brow is wet. I know what it cost you to say it.
Spray from the fjord.
What is that in your eyes? Melted snow.
Oh, Agnes. Agnes, we must both be strong. Strengthen each other. Fight our way step by step together. Agnes, I want to tell you something that has come to me in our sorrow. It is as though there lay a kind of joy in being able to weep. To weep, Agnes. Then I feel I see God closer than I ever saw him before. So near, I feel I might reach out and touch him. And I thirst to cast myself into his bosom and to be comforted by his strong, loving, fatherly arms.
Oh, Brand, always see him so, as a God you can approach. More like a father, less like a master.
I must see him, great and strong, as great as heaven. Out on the fjord, an hour ago, in the storm, the water seethed around us. Our mast shook. Our sail was split and blew far to leeward. Every nail in the boat screeched. My 8 men sat at their oars like corpses, but I exulted in it. I grew stronger. I took command. I knew a great one had baptized me to my calling.
It's easy to be strong in the storm. Easy to lead the warrior's life. But to sit alone at home in silence, nursing one's grief, performing dull and humble tasks is harder. I'm afraid to remember. Yet I cannot forget.
I must fight in the heat of the day. Keep watch through the cold night. You must give me love. Your task is not small.
Oh, Brand, last night while you were away, he came into my room, rosy-cheeked, dressed only in his little shirt, tottered towards my bed, smiled and called Mother, as though he were asking to be warmed. I saw it and I shivered.
Agnes.
Yes, he was freezing. Oh, he must be cold out there under the snow.
His body lies under the snow, but the child is in heaven.
Oh, why'd you tear open the wound?
The wound must remain open and bleed before it can be healed.
Yes, but you must be patient. I can be led, not driven. Oh, stay near me, Brand. Give me your strength. Speak gently to me. The God you taught me to know is a warrior God. How dare I go to him with my small sorrow?
Would you have found it easier to go to the God you worshipped before?
No, I shall never turn to that God again. And yet, sometimes, I long to be where light and sunshine are. Your kingdom is too big for me. Everything here is too big for me. You, your calling, the mountain that hangs over us, our grief, our memories. Only the church is too small.
The church? Why is it too small?
Oh, I can't explain it. I feel it. The church is too small.
Many people have said the same thing to me. Even the mad girl that I met on the moor said it. The church is ugly because it is too small, she screamed. She couldn't explain it either. Many women have said it to me since. A village church is too small. Agnes, you can find the road blindfold where I go by the turning. Our Lord's church is too small. Well, it shall be rebuilt. You see, Agnes, again you guide me. You see how much I need you. It is I who say to you, Agnes, do not leave me.
I will drown my sorrows. I will dry my tears. I will bury my memories. I will be wholly your wife.
Where do you go?
I must not forget my household duties. Least of all tonight. Brand, this year I shall have lights everywhere to remind us that it is Christmas. I shall make the house as bright as I can for Christ's birthday. Now do you see tears in my eyes?
Light the candles, child. That is your task.
Build your big church, but have it built before the spring.
Give her strength. Take from me the cup, the bitterest cup of bending her to thy law. I have strength, I have courage. Lay upon me a double portion of thy load. Only be merciful unto her.
Well, you've beaten me.
Beaten you?
Yes, I thought I should beat you, Father, but I proved a bad prophet.
Well?
I'm in the right, of course. But I shan't fight you any longer.
Why not?
Because you have the people on your side.
So, what do you intend to do?
I'm going to build.
Build, did you say?
Yes. For my own sake, as well as for the village. Election time will soon be here, and I want to show the people I have their best interests at heart. Otherwise, they may go and elect a worthless fellow in my place. I thought, for example, we might build a poorhouse.
I, myself, am going to build.
What? You'd steal my idea?
Well, not exactly. Look. You see that?
What? The church?
Yes. I shall rebuild it.
Rebuild the church?
Make it great.
The devil you don't. That would ruin my plan. We never get them to contribute to both.
That church must come down.
It has always been acceptable to the people before, at least in the old days.
Well, possibly now those days are past. It is too small.
Too small, eh? Well, I've never seen it full.
That is because there is not space enough in it for a single soul to rise.
Listen, Brand, take my advice. Leave the church alone. It's an ancient monument. You can't pull it down just to satisfy a whim. That would be shameful, horrible, and barbaric. Besides, where would you get the money?
I shall build it with my own money. My inheritance. All I have, to the last penny, shall be given to this work.
I see. Very well, then. I withdraw my project. Make your plans. I'll see what support I can work up for you. We'll build the church together.
You give up your plan?
Of course, I'd be a fool not to. If I went around asking for contributions for my plan when they knew you were paying for yours out of your own pocket, who do you think they'd support? No, I'm with you. I'm all for your plan. I'm very taken with it. It's quite excited me. What a lucky chance I happened to come and see you this evening.
Supposing our parishioners refuse to pull it down?
You leave that to me. If I can't succeed in persuading the fools to agree, I'll tear it down myself with my own hands, beam by beam. Well, I must be off. I shall be seeing you soon again. Goodbye. Remember me to your good wife. Happy Christmas.
Look, Brand. The Christmas candles.
Oh, yes, the Christmas candles.
Oh, how cold it is in here. You must be freezing.
No.
How proud you are. You will not admit you need light and warmth.
Will not.
Last Christmas, he groped with his tiny fingers towards their clear flames, stretched forward in his little chair and asked, Mother, is it the sun? Now from where he sleeps, he can see their clear warmth through the window pane. He can peep quietly in and see the bright glow of our Christmas room. Oh, the window pane is misted. Wait a moment. It will soon be clear.
What are you doing, Agnes?
Shh. Quiet.
Close the shutter.
Brand.
Shut it. Shut it tightly.
Why must you be so hard? It's not right.
Close the shutter!
How much more will you demand of me?
Unless you give all, you give nothing.
I have given all.
No, there is more. There is your grief, your memories, your sinful longing for what has gone.
Oh, take them, take them.
The sacrifice is worthless if you grieve.
Your Lord's way is steep and narrow.
It is the way of the will. There is no other.
And the way of mercy
is paved with sacrificial stones.
Now those words of the Scriptures open before me like a great abyss.
Which words?
He dies who sees Jehovah face to face.
Agnes.
Agnes! No! Hide! Hide! Don't look at him! Close your eyes!
Shall I?
No.
Oh, Bran, you suffer so.
I love you.
Your love is hard.
Too hard.
Do not ask. I follow where you lead.
You are my wife. I have the right to demand that you devote yourself wholly to our calling.
Yes. Oh, but don't leave me.
I must. I need rest and quiet. Soon I shall begin to build my church. All peace be with you.
Oh, Brand,
Yes.
may I open the shutters just a little? Oh, only a little. Please, Brand.
No.
No. No. No, he's not down there. Christmas is the children's time. He'd be allowed to come here. Perhaps he stands outside now. Did I hear a child cry? Oh, Wolf! Wolf! Oh, Wolf, the house is closed. I dare not open it. Your father closed it. You and I have never disobeyed him. Oh, fly back to heaven. There is light and happiness. There children play. Do not let anyone see you cry. Do not say your father shut you out. Oh, a little child cannot understand what grown-up people must do. Say he was grieved. Say he sighed. Oh, tell them it was he who plucked the pretty leaves to make your wreath. No, I'm dreaming. But tonight is Christmas. A holy night. I will bring out my relics of love and happiness, whose worth only a mother can know. Here is the veil. Here is the shawl in which he was carried to his christening. Oh. Here is his shirt. Dear God, how pretty it is. How smart he looked when he sat in church. Here is his scarf. And the coat he wore when he first went out of doors. It was too long. But it soon became too small. Here are the clothes I wrapped him in for the long journey south. When I put them away, I was tired to death.
Spare me, God. I cannot destroy this last idol. Send another, if it be thy will.
Oh, it is wet. Have I been crying? How rich I am to have these treasures still.
Share with me, you rich mother.
You are far richer than I.
You're like the rest, full of words.
Tell me what you want.
A rag to wrap him in. Look at him. He's half naked and blue with the cold. The wind's made his body raw.
Agnes.
Yes?
You see your duty.
Oh, Brand. Brand, to her, no, please.
Choose, Agnes.
Give them to me.
Oh, it's a sacrilege, a sin against the dead.
If you fail now, he will have died for nothing.
Come, woman. Take them. I will share with you.
Share, Agnes, share.
Oh, half is enough. She needs no more.
Would half have been enough for your child?
Come, woman. Take them.
Good. I'll wrap him up outside, and I'll be on my way.
Tell me, Brand, haven't I given enough now?
Did you give them willingly?
No.
And the gift is nothing. The demand remains.
Brand.
Yes, what is it?
I lied to you. Look, I kept one thing.
The clan.
Yes.
Stay with your idols.
Oh, wait.
What do you want?
You know.
Willingly?
Willingly?
Give it to me.
am free, Brand. I am free. The darkness is past. The mist has stolen away. Through the night, beyond death, I see the morning.
Agnes. Yes. Yes, you have conquered.
Yes, I have conquered. Conquered death and fear. He was born to die. Ulf is in heaven. If I dared, if I could, I would not beg for him back again. Giving my child has saved my soul from death. Oh, thank you for guiding my hand. You have fought for me unflinchingly. Now the weight falls on you of all or nothing. Now you stand in the valley of choice.
Agnes, you talk in riddles. Our struggle is over.
Do you forget, Brand? He dies who sees Jehovah face to face.
Oh, Agnes. Agnes, you must not leave me, Agnes.
Choose. You stand where the road divides. Quench the light that burns in me. Give me back my idols. The woman is still outside. Let me go back to my blindness. Push me back into the mire where until now I have sinned. You can do anything. You are free to. I have no strength to oppose you. If you will and dare do it, I am your wife as before.
You must not go back. Oh, Agnes, Agnes, let us leave this place, far from here, and the memory of your sorrow. You will find that life and light are one.
Do you forget the 1,000 souls here whom God has called you to save? Choose.
I have no choice.
Thank you for this. Thank you for everything. I'm tired. I must sleep.
Sleep, Agnes. Your day's work is over.
The day is ended, and the candle is lit for the night. The victory took all my strength. Oh, but God is easy to praise. Good night, Bran.
Good night, Agnes.
Thank you for everything. Now I want to sleep.
Soul, be steadfast to the end. The victory of victories is to lose everything. Only that which is lost remains eternal.
Build the Lord's house and make it greater. That was my boast. Is this what I'd envisaged? Is this the vision I once had of a vault spanning the world's pale? If Agnes were here, it would be different. She would banish all my doubts. She could see greatness, where I saw only smallness. Garlands, flags, they set up my name in gold. Everybody praises me, but their words burn me. Oh, if only I could hide myself. If I could only hide.
Thank you, dear brother. Thank you. My heartfelt thanks. Others more eloquent and wittier than I will thank you at greater length after luncheon. There will be many speeches. My dear Brand, you look so pale.
My strength and courage failed me long ago.
Well, it's quite understandable. So many things to worry about and no one to help you. But now the worst is over. Your fellow priests are deeply proud of you, and the humble people are full of gratitude, heartfelt gratitude. Everyone says the same about the church. What style? What size? Oh. There's something else I wanted to talk to you about. You mustn't think I'm angry with you. You're young. You're new. You're from the city. You don't know country people's ways. To speak plainly, my complaint is this. You treat each one of your parishioners as though he were a separate spiritual problem. Now, between ourselves, this is a mistake. You must treat all alike. We can't afford to discriminate.
Explain yourself more clearly.
Well, what I mean is this. The state sees religion as the best means of improving the country's moral tone, the best insurance against unrest. Good Christian means good citizen. Now, the state can only achieve this through its officials, in this case its priests.
Go on.
Your church is a benefit to the state, and therefore you have a responsibility to the state. With the gift goes an obligation.
Do you know what you're asking me to do? You're demanding that at the cock crow of the state, I betray the ideal for which I have lived.
Betray an ideal? My dear Bran, nobody's asking you to do anything of the kind. I'm just showing you your duty. I merely beg you to consider your position if you want to get on. Every man must curb his individuality, humble himself, and not always be trying to rise above his fellow men. The man who fights alone will never achieve anything of lasting value. Well, goodbye. I have to preach a sermon on the duality of human nature, and let's take a little light refreshment first.
No. No, not yet! They've not got me yet! This church has had blood to drink! My life lies buried here! But they will not get my soul. Oh, if only I could find one person to share my faith. Give me strength, give me peace. Einar! You!
Yes, that is my name.
I've been longing to meet someone whose heart was not of wood or stone. Come and talk to me.
I need no priest. I have found peace.
What language is this?
The language a man learns when he shakes off the sleep of sin and wakes regenerated. I was seduced by pride and belief in my own strength. But God be praised, he did not abandon his foolish sheep. When the moment was ripe, he opened my eyes.
How?
I fell.
Fell?
Yes, into drunkenness and gambling.
Did you call that the Lord's
That
doing?
was the first step towards my salvation. Then he took my health from me, my talent for painting, my love of merriment. I was taken to hospital, where I lay sick for a long while, lay as though in flames. I thought I saw in all the rooms thousands of huge flies. At last they let me go, and I became a child of the Lord.
And then?
I became a missionary.
A missionary? Where?
In Africa. I must go.
Oh, but don't you want to ask what happened
to whom? Oh, that young woman who held me struggling in her net of lust before I became cleansed by the true faith. Yes. What's happened to her?
Next year, she became my wife.
Such matters do not concern me.
Our life together was richly blessed with joy, with sorrow. A child died.
A triviality.
Oh, perhaps you're right. He was lent, not given, and we shall meet again. But then she left me too. Their graves grow green side by side.
Vanity, Bran, vanity.
With that too?
All that matters is how she died.
Oh, in hope of the dawn, with the heart's wealth untouched, steadfast even to our last night, grateful for all that God had given her and taken away, she went to her grave.
Vanity, vanity, man. How is her faith?
Oh, unshakable.
In whom?
In her God.
Her God cannot save her. Then she is damned.
What do you say?
Damned, poor soul.
Go away, fool!
The Prince of Darkness will have you in his clutches. You will burn like her in everlasting fire.
You dare to pronounce judgment on her and me? Poor sinning fool!
My faith has washed me clean.
Hold your tongue!
Hold yours! I smell sulphur here, and glimpse the devil's horns upon your brow. I am a grain of God's immortal wheat, but you are chaff upon the wind of judgment.
That was the man who was to give me strength. Now all my bonds are broken. Now I shall march under my own flag, even if none will follow.
Open the church.
People, you stand at the crossroads. Will yourselves to be new. Destroy everything in you that is rotten. Only then can the great temple be built as it must and shall. Mad? Yes, I was mad. I was mad to think that to double the church's size was enough. I did not see it was all or nothing. I lost myself in compromise. But today the Lord has spoken. The trumpet of doom has sounded over this house. Now all doubt is past. People, compromise is the way of Satan.
Away with them!
Your enemy is within you. Within you. A worm sapping your strength. Why did you come to the church? Why? To gape at the show? To gape at the steeple? To listen to the organ and the bells? To enjoy the flow of high-sounding speeches? That is not what I dreamed. I dreamed I might build a church so great that it might embrace not just faith and doctrine, but everything in life that God had given as a part of life. The day's toil, the evening's rest, the night's sorrows, the fresh delights of burning youth, the cry of the storm, the soft voices that blow from the sea. These should be one with the word of God, with the people singing and the organ music. The thing that stands here is a lie, a monstrous lie. Away with it!
Do not listen to him. He is not a true Christian.
No, you're right. I am not a true Christian. Neither are you, nor is anyone here. For to be a true Christian, you must have a soul. And show me one who has kept his soul. You grind away God's image, live like beasts, and then join the groveling queue to beg for grace. Has he not said that only if ye are as little children can ye enter the kingdom?
You give us life, Father!
I am priest here no longer. I withdraw my gift. God is not here. His kingdom is perfect freedom.
Open this church!
Our church is boundless. It has no walls. Its floor is the green earth, the moorland, the meadow, the sea, the fjord. Only heaven can span its roof. The day's toil there is a fight among the stars, is one with children's play around the Christmas tree, is one with the dance of the king before the ark. Come then, all you who are young and strong, show yourselves with fresh children's faces in the great church of life. Over the frozen ocean of the moor, we shall wander through the land, freeing our souls, purifying, crushing our weakness. Be men, be priests, renew God's faded image, make the earth your temple.
Turn back! Turn back!
They have left me. My flock has left me.
Do not fear, my lord. Victory will soon be ours.
Victory? But our flock has left us.
We are not beaten yet. Not if I know my sheep.
Forward! Forward! Follow me to victory. Forget your village. It is buried in the mist. Forget your beasts. Now you are men of the Lord. Climb onward, climb!
We've had nothing to eat since you... Give us food, wench of.
We must cross the mountain first. Follow me.
The path's too steep. We'll never get there by nightfall.
The steep path is the shortest.
Give them strength, priest. Their courage is failing.
Perform a miracle, Father.
Your slavery has branded you vilely. You demand your reward before your work is done. Rise up. Shake off your sloth. If you cannot, then go back to your graves.
He's right. Victory must be won first. The reward will follow.
You will be rewarded, my people, as surely as a god watches keen-eyed over this world.
He prophesied.
Tell us, priest, will the battle be hard? What will be my share of the reward?
What are you asking? What do you want to know?
First, how long will we have to fight? Secondly, what will it cost? And thirdly, what will be our reward?
That is what you want to know.
Yes, you didn't tell us.
Very well, I will tell you now.
Speak.
How long will you have to fight? Until you die. What will it cost? Everything you hold dear. The reward, a new will, cleansed and strong. A new faith, integrity of spirit. A crown of thorns. That will be your reward, my people.
You have betrayed us.
Betrayed us. I have not betrayed or tricked you.
Promised us victory. Now you ask for sacrifice.
I promise you victory, and I swear it shall be won through you. But those who march in the first rank must fall.
He wants us to die.
The only road to Canaan lies through a desert. The desert of self-sacrifice. Death is the only victory. I consecrate you, soldiers of the Lord.
We can't go back.
Don't go on.
My children, my sheep, listen to the voice of your old shepherd. Do not listen to this man. He will trick you with false promises.
That's true.
We understand weakness. We forgive those who truly repent. Look into your hearts before it is too late. Can you not see the black art he has used to get you into his power?
He has bewitched us.
Think, my children, what can you achieve? Humble people born in a humble village? Were you created to shake the world? You have your humble tasks allotted you. To attempt more is presumptuous and wrong. You will only be preyed upon by the ruthless and the mighty. My children, my sheep.
Choose, men and women, choose!
What luck I managed to find you. No time for that. Just you come with me. A marvelous thing has happened for our village. If you behave sensibly, you'll all be rich before nightfall.
What is it? What's happened?
A shoal of fishes has entered our fjord. Millions of them. Do you want to spend the night on this mountaintop? Such a shoal has never entered our fjord before. A new day is dawning for us, my friends.
Choose between him and God.
A miracle, a sign from heaven. I've often dreamt that this would happen, and now it has. We have been given a sign.
If you turn back now, you're left.
Do not move, boys. Away.
Do not go back. You're lost.
Priest, leave the lunatic.
Yes.
He refused his own mother the sacrament.
He killed his child.
And his wife too.
A bad son, a bad father, a bad husband. Where could you find a worse Christian?
He pulled our church down!
And you knocked it out of the new one.
I see the mark of Cain on every brow. I see we will all end.
Drive him out of the village.
Return to your fireside. Repent of your rash folly, and you will find that the simple life is good.
They are wise.
Farewell, and good luck to your fishing. God's miracle has saved us.
What miracle?
The shoal of fishes.
Oh, that. A lie, of course. I hope your reverence will find it excusable in view of the importance of the issue.
Yes, of course, quite excusable.
I wonder, though, whether their treatment of him was not just a little inhumane.
The voice of the people is the voice of God. Come.
Many started with me from the village.
Not one has followed me to the mountaintop. Someone once died to save their souls, so nothing more is required of them. It was not for us that he drained the cup of agony, that the thorn crown scarred his brow, the lance pierced through his head, the nails burned through his hands and feet. Not for us. We are not worthy. We defied the call to arms. It was not for us that he carried his cross. Have I been dreaming? Or am I awake? Was it all just a sick man's vision after all? Have we forgotten the image in whose likeness we were made? Is man defeated after all? I hear a sound like singing in the air.
Can never be like him, for you are flesh. Do his will or forsake him. You are lost.
Lost? Yes, yes, I can well believe it. Did he not reject my prayer in the church? Take from me all I had? Closed every path that might have led me to light? Let me fight until my strength was finished, and then let me be defeated? Wolf? Wolf? Agnes? Agnes! Come back to me! I am alone on the mountain top. The north wind blows through me. Spectres haunt me.
Friend. 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 I have come back to you.
Agnes. Agnes!
Stop! A gulf lies between us. You are not dreaming. You're not asleep. You've been sick, my dear. You've been mad. You dreamed your wife was dead.
You are alive!
There is not much time. Come with me. Come with me.
Ulf!
He is alive, too.
Alive!
It was all a dream. Your sorrows were a dream. You fought no battles. Ulf is with your mother. She is well, and he grows tall. The old church still stands. You can pull it down if you wish to. The villagers toil below as they did before you came in the good days.
Good?
Yes, then there was peace.
Peace?
Quickly, Brand, come with me.
Oh, I am dreaming.
No longer, but you need tenderness and care.
I am strong.
Not yet. Your dreams will lure you back again. The mist will swallow you and take you from me, unless you try the remedy.
What is it?
You have it.
Give it to me.
It is 3 words. You must blot them out. Wipe them from your memory. Forget them.
Say them.
All or nothing.
That.
As surely as I live, and as surely as you shall sometime die.
Alas for us both. The drawn sword still hangs over us as it hung before.
Be gentle, Brand. My breasts are warm. Hold me in your strong arms. Let us go and find the sun and the summer.
The sickness will not come again.
It will come, be sure.
No, I have put it behind me. The horror of dreams is past. Now comes the horror of life.
Of life?
Yes, come with me, Agnes.
Stop, what will you do?
Live what till now I dreamed. Make the illusion real.
Impossible. Remember where that road led you.
I will tread it again.
That road of fear in the midst of dreams. Will you ride it freely and awake?
Freely and awake.
And let your child die?
And let my child die.
Friend!
I must.
And kill me?
I must.
Quench the candles in the night, shut out the sun in the day, never pluck life's fruit, never be soothed by song. I remember so many songs.
I must. Do not waste your prayer.
Do you forget what reward your sacrifices brought you? Your hopes betrayed you, everyone forsook you, everyone stoned you.
I did not fight for my own reward. I did not strive for my own victory.
Remember, an angel with a flaming rod drove man from paradise. He set a gulf before the gate. Over that gulf you cannot leap.
The way of longing remains.
Die! The world has no use for you.
Disappeared in the mist, flying on great rough wings across the moor like a hawk. It was a deceitful spirit. The spirit of compromise.
Did you see him? Did you see the hawk?
Yes, this time I saw him, child.
Quick, tell me, which way did he fly? We'll go after him. This time we'll get him.
No weapon can harm him. You think you killed him, and the next moment he's after you as fierce as ever.
I stole the reindeer hunter's rifle and loaded it with silver. I'm not as mad as they say.
I hope you hit him.
Priest, you're limping. Your foot's hurt. How did that happen?
The people hunted me.
Your forehead is red.
The people stoned me.
Your voice used to be clear as song. Now it creaks like leaves in autumn.
Everything, everyone.
What?
Betrayed me.
Now I know who you are. I thought you were the priest. You're the big man. The biggest of all.
I used to think I was.
Let me see your hands. They're scarred with nails. There's blood in your hair. You've been on the cross. My father told me it happened long ago and far away. Now I see he was deceiving me. I know you. You are the savior, man.
Go away from me!
Shall I pour that at your feet and pray?
No!
You gave the blood that will save us all. There are nail holes in your hands. You are the chosen one. You are the greatest of all.
I am the meanest thing that crawls on earth.
Do you know where you're standing?
I stand up on the lower stair. It is far to climb and my feet are sore.
Answer me. Do you know where you're standing?
Yes. Now the mist is lifting.
Yes, it is lifting. Black Peak points its finger towards heaven.
Black Peak? The Ice Church!
Yes! You came to my church after all.
Oh, I long to be far away. How I long for light and sun and the still tenderness of peace. I long to be where life's summer kingdoms are. Oh, Jesus. Jesus, I called upon your name. Why did you never receive me into your bosom? You passed close by me, but you never touched me. Let me hold one poor corner of your garment.
and wet it with my tears of true repentance.
What's the matter? You're crying. Hot tears. The ice in my memory is thawing into tears. You're melting the snow on my church steeple. The ice priest's cloak is sliding from his shoulders. Man, why did you never weep before?
My life was a long darkness. Now the sun is shining. It is day. Until today, I had sought to be a tablet on which God could write. Now my life shall flow rich and warm. The crust is breaking. I can weep. I can kneel. I can cry.
Look! There he sits, the ugly brute. That's him casting the shadow. Can't you hear him beating the sides of the peak with his great wings? Now is the moment! Now! If only the silver will bite!
What are you doing?
I hit him!
The avalanche!
Look! He's falling! Hear how he groans! Look at his white feathers floating down the mountainside! Oh, I shan't be afraid anymore!
Must every man die to atone for human sin?
Look how he tumbles and rolls! He's as white as a dove. He's rolling down on top of us! That horrid, horrid roar!
Answer me, God! In the moment of death, if not by will, how can man be redeemed?